Hi, this is going to be a review on some eyeshadow palettes. I've got a few that I'm going to go through, so I will try to just go ahead and get started and get through it quickly as possible. First I'm going to show is the Sedona Lace, if I can get it in my hands. This is the Sedona Lace palette. And this is the 88 Warm palette. They do have a warm palette that is bigger than this. I don't know if it's quite twice the size of it. It might be. It might be. And it's only like $10 more. But when I went to purchase it online, it was completely sold out and back ordered. And I was impatient. And so I just went ahead and settled for the 88 Warm palette because I wanted it now. And I'm glad that I did because I really do like it. But if I'd held that a little bit longer, I could have gotten the bigger eyeshadow palette that had like 160 something eyeshadows in it for $24.95, I believe is what it was, versus the $14.95 that I believe is what I paid for this one. When you get this baby, it comes in bubble wrap and plastic wrap and like thousands, like not really thousands, but like a ton of those little styrofoam peanuts in the packaging. So they really make sure that it is intact. I mean, I had no loose shadows when I got this thing. So, no more than you pay for it, even with the shipping, to know that they put that much care into making sure that your product is going to be intact when you get it is a bonus to me. So I will do a few swatches. There's a really good variety of colors. As you can see, the color payoff is really, really good. You've got your neutral nudes. You've got like your cranberry kind of colors. You've got like your peachy corals. You've got some highlight shades. And then you've just got like your matte neutral colors if you, don't like too much, drama kind of going on your eyes. If you just like to keep it simple, this is definitely the palette for you. So that's the Sedona Lace. And moving on to the next one. This is the INGLOT shadow palette. This is one of them anyway. I've got three that I'm going to show, but this is just the 4 palette. Many of you watching are already familiar with INGLOT. So the ones that are not familiar with INGLOT, I would just kind of briefly explain what INGLOT is. They are a Polish company, and they're becoming very, very popular here in the States for more than one reason. They do have their own system. It's called like a freedom system, which means that you purchase an empty palette of your size choice. You can start with the 2 palette, 3, 4, 5, 10, or 20. You get an empty palette and you choose whatever eyeshadows that you want to put inside of your palette. Me personally, you probably have had this too, but me personally, I've bought eyeshadow palettes, excuse me, in the past, whether it's from drugstores or the department stores, whatever brand it is. I've purchased palettes, and then I always end up with like 2 or 3 eyeshadows that I will never wear for whatever reason. And then you kind of feel like your money's been wasted because it's included in the palette and you can't do anything about it, but yet you'll never use it. So with the Freedom Palette system, you pick a palette of your size choice and you choose whatever colors that you want and you plug them in. So you really can't complain with that. The shadows are pretty big, and they're not expensive, and they're bigger than some other brand shadows that I've been hearing about. So I don't really want to call names, but I have heard that they are bigger, and they're less expensive than those too. So you just kind of make your own decision. I would just give you a close up of what this palette looks like. They do not have names, so I will have to read off to you the numbers of them because they're numerically identified. But I did write down the numbers so that you can look for them later if you decide to. So I will go ahead and get started with the numbers, starting with this one here. This is 339, 444, 454, and 63. And I will do a few swatches here. And as you can see, I mean, I just barely rubbed it, and there you go. That's some pretty impressive payoff. As far as the packaging goes, it is magnetic. So when you get your eyeshadows, they're not already in the palette. They're still individually packaged and boxed. And then you put them in however you want to arrange them. So I do suggest that once you put them in, that you're satisfied with how you want them arranged, because they're not very easy to come out unless you can take the corner of the cover and kind of pop it, I just screwed that up. But, just kind of stick it in the corner or get like another magnet that's really strong and just kind of sit it on top of the eyeshadow and it will just easily pop right out. So I just try to keep them in place because they're a pain in the butt to try to rearrange. So the cover, very durable. I don't know if it's like a hard acrylic or something. Really hard plastic. So you don't have to worry about damaging it, if you're like traveling and it's like in your little makeup bag. Very happy with this. Very happy with this. The next one is going to be the 5 palette. And I will just kind of read these numbers off to you. I will start with this end. 445, 392, 40, 358, and 446. And I will do a few swatches of these as well. They blend very easily. I mean, they're just really no fuss, with these eyeshadows. I'm very happy with them. Hopefully you will be too. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I'm not a professional. I don't do makeup for a living. I don't get any type of pro discount. I'm just a regular girl who loves makeup and just wanted to share my 2 cents with you guys about some products that I have fallen in love with. The last INGLOT palette is the 10 palette. And I will just jump right into these numbers. Starting with the greens, we've got 44. Am I right? Yes, we've got 44. Nope, I'm sorry. I'm screwing up already. Sorry, guys. 44, 433, 351, 418, 419. Here at the bottom, we've got 363, 421, 405, 360, and 409. And I will do a few swatches of these. There you go. So I'm wiping my fingers off. Got one more palette to share. And I know many of you may have seen this, the hype all over. It's all over the place. It's on Facebook and their website, and I'm excited about it. Urban Decay just recently launched their latest palette, if I can get it open. It is called the Naked Basics, and it is their first all matte shadow palette. And I'm very, very excited because I own their Naked 1 and 2 palettes, and I just adore. So I decided to give it a try. I was a little bit turned off at first because the colors to me at first, when I looked at it, looked a little bland. And I was thinking, these colors look a little bit boring. I don't really know if I'm going to like them as much as I like my other shadows. Well, I'll be honest with you. I saw a photo that someone posted up. I can't remember if it was on their Facebook page or where it was. But the girl had actually done some swatches like on her forearm. And just looking at the colors of the swatches, like on her arm or her hand, or wherever she put them, it looked better than it did in the palette. In the palette, they just look really bland. But I guess once you put them against a skin tone, then you can see the endless possibilities of what you can do with this palette. So you can wear just as nude and neutral as you like. You can use the last 2 darker colors and kind of smoke it out if you want a little bit more dramatic of a look. The last shadow probably will be used mostly on me for lining my eyes. Don't know if I'll smoke it out as much, but probably at least for a good liner. This thing is very small. It is adorable. It fits like in your hand, and I will compare it to my cell phone. I've got the Droid Razr Max, and so, I mean, it's smaller than my cell phone. And I think I've heard some people compare it to their iPhone 4. I think they said it was about the same size. So it's really small, $27, and you get 6 matte shadows. And if you're familiar with the Naked 1 and 2 palettes, they are $50. You get 12 shadows. But, for $27, some women think that that's really expensive, and I don't really agree. I think that it's a pretty decent price because it's so compact. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And they're all matte shadows. You know, maybe they think that, you know, it should only be $25 because the larger palette with 12 is $50. Well, I will pay $2 to have some really good matte shadows that I really like, because the Naked 1 and 2 palettes are not full of matte shadows. I mean, there are very few matte shadows in there that are not considered like a highlight. So I'm very happy with it. So that's my hype about the palettes. One last thing before I go is I do want to mention Urban Decay's D-Slick XL. I know I hate to throw this in on eyeshadow palette, but I just had to rave about this. I just started using this about a week ago. No, yeah, it's been about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I started out buying the trial size just to see how I like it. I'm a pretty tough critic, and I give this 5 stars. I already did a review on their website. 5 stars for sure. If you have problems like I do with oily areas, I do my makeup early in the morning, about 7 o'clock. By lunchtime, I've got greasy forehead, greasy cheeks, greasy nose, greasy chin. I've got little oil blotting sheets that I carry in my purse, and I'm always like trying to blot it during the day. Or a paper towel if I forget my blotting sheets at home. You know, I'll blot my face. And then by that time, you've already rubbed off all of your makeup, and now you have no makeup on, and then you're ticked off because your makeup's not cheap. And it's just coming off, and it's frustrating. So I've gone through primers thinking, well, maybe it's the primer that I'm using. It's not good enough. Maybe it's the setting powder. I mean, you name it. I've tried it. I own it. I've got like a small arsenal of these products, thinking that one was affecting the other. And in fact, I just hadn't discovered Urban Decay's all control setting makeup spray. This stuff is simple. I apply it exactly as they say it. You spray it twice, once before foundation, once after all of your makeup is done. So what I do is I will go ahead and on a fresh face, I will apply my primers, my foundation primer, my eyelid primer, and then I would just spray this lightly, and I'll just do a quick demonstration. And that's it. I would just spray it just like that. I will let it dry about like 30 seconds. Then I will do my foundation, eyeshadow, blush, bronzer, eyeliner, whatever you name it. You know, your, what do you call it? Concealer, all of that stuff. I will make sure that my makeup is completely done. And then I will go ahead and spray it just like I showed you a second ago. I will spray the exact same amount on that. And then 8-9 hours later, my makeup still looks like I had just done it. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like I said, I'm a tough critic, and I'm one of those, I'll believe it when I see it. I was on their website. I saw a lot of mixed reviews where women loved it, some women hated it. And I said, well, I will just try the small $12 size and just see how I like it. Well, I ended up buying the full size. I ended up buying 2 full sizes. That's how, I just want to make sure that I have enough. So I've got 2 full sizes and a small travel size for when I travel. I'll just take some of the bigger bottle and kind of refill it into the smaller one is what I'll end up using that for. But anyway, I love it. If you have all issues, definitely go out and try it. You can't go wrong. If it doesn't work for you, then, you know, pass it to a friend and see if it works for her. But I do highly recommend it. So that's my review on those products. I hope it was some help. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.